Welcome to Chat on Bharat Marg. Folks, here we are with Sri Ravinder Pandita, the head and founder of SAVE Sharda Committee Kashmir. You know, we are so happy. Here you are with a warrior. You have to get to know. You know, he single-handedly, along with his team, led the recovery process of Sharda Peeth. Okay, and we will know all about it. And you will hear the story of a hero. I am so impressed and thankful to Sri Ravinder Pandita for joining our program. Welcome, Sri Pandita ji. I know that you pretty much put your life at stake for Sharda Peeth. You know, you have worked for a lifelong time, if I say it right. Okay, says what made you to, why Sharda Peeth is so important for you, and is it such an important place for all Hindus we should all concerned about? Can you please give us some idea about it? We will love to hear it from you.
The shloka itself, Namaste Sharde Devi Kashmir Purvasani Toham Prarthe Nityam Vidya Dhanam Chadehi. Now, here in our part, in our community, we usually recite yet another shloka very often. That Sharda Varda Devi Mokshadata Saraswati Namastasya 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 Namo Namah. Now Sharda as such, what I see, it's not only a temple. Sharda is a civilization, the oldest civilization much beyond Taxila and Nalanda. And the Sharda, geographically also, this would not be a small piece of land, what we see right now, POK, where it is situated in district Neelam. Sharda would be a Sharda Desh. It would extend from Cambodia to Iran. Now, those times, unfortunately or fortunately, we should not comment on the other faith. Buddhism had taken over and Buddhism had overshadowed Sanatan. I am talking particularly of the period King Ashoka 273 BC to King Lalitaditya. Now, King Lalitaditya was around there up to 730 AD and all. Now, during this period, we had totally altogether Buddhism around, and Sanatana had been totally overshadowed. It was in total darkness until we get a saint from Kaladi, Kerala, called Shankara. He goes to Sharda Peeth, and this much everyone knows. He opens the southern door of the Sharda Peeth. It used to be a Buddhist university then. So once we talk of the history, I say my talk, we should put it in three parts usually. One is the history and importance of Sharda. One is the present status and what all we have been struggling and what all we have achieved during our struggle. And then, of course, what's the way forward? That would be the third part. So, once we touch the first part, what inspired me is that it's my Guru, Swami Nandalalji, who was at Sharda Peeth at the time of partition. Was when this partition happened in 1947, Sharda Peeth was managed by Swami Nandalalji. There was an official pujari, priest over there, called Prakash Swami. Now, his original name is Prakash Ram Bhatt, and he was being paid salary by Maharaja, because from Adi Shankaracharya period down to the latest modern history, like I said, Adi Shankaracharya went from Kaladi to Sharda Peeth. He had a lot of debates because Sanatana was not there. It was all Buddhism. So he had debates with those Buddhist saints and monks who were, holding this Buddhist university and the Sharda Peeth. And prominent amongst them was Mandan Mishra, of course. So once he defeated all those, in debates and all, discourses and everything, then Shankara gets to become Acharya. So the he becomes from Shankara, he becomes Shankaracharya.
Wow.
That's what we say commonly today, Adi Shankaracharya.
So he
So
comes as
Adi,
so he comes as Shankara to Kashmir and leaves as Shankaracharya.
yes, he comes to Sharda Peeth as Shankara and comes back with a degree, sort of a degree from Sharda University, that he is an Acharya now. And of course, he revives Sanatana from there. It's during that period around 723 to 725 AD. Though it is, the dates are disputable, some people put it earlier, but I have a lot of records and I can set right the things. We can't, allow one author to take it away and say, no, this was not the Shankaracharya period. No, definitely 723 AD, 725 AD, he visits Kashmir and he is there thoroughly, and he comes back and sets up four mutts with 4 Vedas at the back, and he gives to his 4 disciples 4 Guru Shabds. Ours is like mine, I say, ours is Shringeri Peeth. Now, that is connected obviously to Kanchi also, because Shankaracharya ji lived a lot of time in Kanchi. And the eldest disciple, whose name is Suresh Acharya Pandita, he is from Kanchi, Samadhi is in Kanchi. So now there may be ideological differences between Shringeri and Kanchi. I consider it's one mutt. Then we have another in West India, that's Dwarka. We have in towards north Jyotish Mutt, and we have towards the east we have the Puri Mutt. So these are the 4 mutts. 2 out of these 4 are held by one pontiff, that's your one Shankaracharya, Swarupanandji Acharya, and one is Swami Nishchalanandji, who heads who's the present pontiff at Puri Mutt, and in Shringeri we have Bharati Tirathaji, and of course in Kanchi our present pontiff is Saraswati Vijendraji. So these 4 mutts prominently make one Shankaracharya philosophy, that is Advaita philosophy, what he put it at that time in that fashion. So let's not go to that history too much into that. That's one part. The main part is what was the status around 1947 once we lost this peace. Now, I go a slightly prior to 1947. It is during Maharaja's period, and out of these 2, Pratap Singh Maharaja and particularly Ranbir Singh, during these periods of these Maharaja periods, we had this yatra, the yatra to Sharda Peeth. So it continued before partition, and Maharaja Ranbir Singh, out of these all Dogra rulers, because our J&K state wasn't, Maharaja ruled independent state, independent country rather. So during that period, particularly one of the Maharajas, I am talking again of Maharaja Ranbir Singh, he constructed a Dogra fort over there. He put 60 sepoys over there. Then there are a lot of similar temples constructed out there, which are unfortunately in Pak occupied Kashmir. There we have Banganga temple. We have a similar Banganga temple out here in Jammu. There are a lot of similarities. Now also we can find Ranbir Singh Haveli there. We have Jammu houses, those who had to migrate in 1947. The Hindus were thrown out from that place because of partition rights. Coming to the yatra or the functioning of Sharda Peeth, which is Adi Shankaracharya's Peeth, the basic seat of learning, which is as good as Mecca for all Sanatanis, and the place, the epicenter of knowledge, where from Sanatana is reborn. This is unfortunately lying in Pak occupied Kashmir now. Now Pak occupied Kashmir has 10 districts as our part of Kashmir. One of the districts is District Neelam. POK has 10 districts, and out of which one of the district is district Neelam. There we have two tehsils. One is Atmakam and the other tehsil is Shardi. So our Sharda Peeth lies in Shardi village as per revenue records. We have about 73 canals of land up there, which is encroached after 1947. And the functioning of Sharda stops in 1948. Our Guru Maharaj Swami Nandlal Ji continues beyond partition also. He continues beyond tribal raids also. So Sharda was closed somewhere in November, December 1948. Once Swami Ji had to come with his troop. He had Muslim followers also there. Prominent Muslim follower was the Nambardar of the village. His name was Zaman Mir Khan. So he accompanied him to our side of Kashmir, a place called Tikkar in Kupwara district, where we have one of the ashramas of Swami Nandlal. He carried some idols also with him. They came on horsebacks and all that, because tribal raids was the biggest mischief created in the region. So every Hindu had to flee away from there. We had 23 Kashmiri Pandit families in Sharda, and they had a lot of businesses. We had one Kashmiri Pandit as Vedlal Tusu, who was the only taxpayer in Muzaffarabad. Now this all is the history. Now it has remained a history. So we can say, conclude that since 1948, Sharda is closed and there has been no yatra. So this is the important.